Hey, Coach Candace here with a video for you today, just to help you with your mindset and how you approach training or whatever goal you might have in mind. And the best I can sum it up is just think of brick by brick, just stacking those little wins, those little steps in the process along the way. And this comes just from like any number of goals I see my clients might have, or perhaps we're working towards a new movement. Something that a lot of folks are working on right now is the log clean and press. And just like I remember somebody picking it up the one day and doing the clean and thinking, man, I can't even think about pressing that. And I just remind them, I was like, we're not there yet. I don't want you to worry about that. With also another friendly reminder that you don't have to see the whole staircase, but you just have to take that first step. So many times people focus on here, but they've got to realize like, hey, you're just starting here. Like start at this little thing. You worry about the first step, then we'll worry about the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. Because many times, like where people often get into trouble or where they're unsuccessful is they try to just skip steps. They're trying to do this, like they're trying to get to the top just like that. On the other hand, though, patience in the process, doing those little things is going to yield better long-term results. Because then you have a better foundation of work that you've done. And just off the top of my mind, kind of had like 3 examples there. So number one, let's say pull-ups. You really want to do that first pull-up. But many times in the moment, like there's some work that might seem boring or you might not see where that's going to yield you. Like, okay, you might have a long-term goal of a pull-up, but let's get you stronger in your dumbbell rows. But now maybe it means that you're doing pen lay rows, and maybe now you're doing bent over barbell rows. Maybe you're doing some, banded pull-ups. Like all of those are little steps in the staircase that's going to get you to your ultimate goal. But many times people try to skip all those. Maybe they just want to say, I'm going to kip it till I get it, and they just get that kipping pull-up. But somehow, like by skipping those little steps, maybe now they haven't developed like the shoulder stability or the back strength for that, and then now they end up with a shoulder injury, and now they're not doing anything for their pull-up. But whereas on the other hand, building the structure in your shoulder to support that is going to be better for the long term. Another example I'll give is like, let's say somebody wants to do a handstand push-up. Again, many people try to kick up to the wall and just use as much force as they can and trying to kick themselves up and do a kipping handstand push-up instead of like a strict one. But on the other hand, like taking those steps, so maybe it's like getting stronger in your pressing movements in whatever way those might be appropriate for you till you can build up that strict strength, because perhaps instead of like trying to leap and trying to get to here by doing the kipping, you develop, again, better shoulder strength for it, better control, which means also a better neck health overall versus someone who goes and kips and maybe now injures their neck. And again, now they're not doing handstand push-ups at all. So by skipping those steps, they've actually sent themselves probably way down below this actual staircase. And then lastly, another pertinent example here is weight loss. Like, yes, you might have 50 pounds or 50 or more pounds to lose, but I don't want you to think about those. I want you to think about how we're going to lose those first 5. Because the things you do to learn that first 5 are going to help you lose the next 5 and the next 5 and the next 5. And then before you know it, you're like, oh my gosh darn it, like I achieved my goal like through all those little steps. But again, like in the process here, because again, when it comes to nutrition, maybe I'm tracking and I'm learning about my food. Maybe, I'm learning how to swap out some things for some better choices. Maybe this here is learning about my hunger cues. There's so many little steps involved that like when you try to skip it, which many times people are doing. Now, again, that's not 100% as far as like when it comes to like, let's say weight loss medications or procedures or whatnot. Because again, I can still advocate for those in some way, but many times when people use that as their only solution, they're skipping all these steps. And when that is no longer there, they're going to be back at square one with no foundation. So you can't ignore the fact that you need to build a foundation and whatever it is that you want to do. So my encouragement for you, take your goal, whatever it might be, and break it down into the smallest step. Again, we can even say, hey, you want to save for a house and need a down payment? Instead of thinking of that one lump sum, like what do you need to save month over month or even week to week, like or day to day, like what do you need to save there? So any goal you have, whatever it might be, just break it down to those small steps. Like instead of looking how you can skip the line or fast track things, like, because again, there's often a saying that is like, the fast way is often the slow way, because again, you have not built that foundation or spent the time in the bottom steps. And probably one last reminder I have for you is recognize probably some of these early steps, they're going to be boring. Like there might be nothing exciting about them, but it just kind of, you just have to be patient through that and realize and think of the long-term goal. So for example, there's nothing exciting about packing your own lunch or tracking your food, but it is going to be the building block that's going to help you be successful in a long time. So for example, myself, working towards my first handstand push-ups, been doing, I feel like, Arnold dumbbell presses for a long time, varying tempos, trying to challenge myself in different ways. Yeah, there's nothing exciting about that in the moment, but I can see where that's going to pay off in the future as far as, again, healthier shoulders for the movement and more control to, again, ultimately save my neck. So it's kind of taking that one little thing that's boring at the time, but just seeing how it's going to pay dividends later. So in closing, I hope you found that helpful. Patient with the process. Accept that things are going to be boring and you're just stacking those bricks until someday you have a magnificent sturdy wall that you can now go forth and do even more amazing things with.